we supposed to continue with our Heart Sutra sharing. We finished our first chapter last week. First chapter is very general, but this second chapter is very beautiful. A lot of things, very important things. So today I am going to chant also the invocation to the devas, so that we invite them, so that they can also officially partake. So do remind me, it's just in case I forget. So okay, very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. We will now get ready for our puja chanting. Let us compose our mind, develop our faith, Sada, Virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 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 阿弥陀佛。Namo 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 弥勒佛。Namo 弥勒佛。Namo 弥勒佛。那么普贤菩萨，那么普贤菩萨，那么普贤菩萨，那么地藏王菩萨，那么地藏王菩萨，那么地藏王菩萨，那么佛菩萨，那么佛菩萨，那么佛菩萨。阿拉亨萨玛萨布多巴嘎哇。Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Sanghang namami. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata Viramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu micacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majapama tatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect triple chant. Buddhang Pujami. Dhammang Pujami. Sanghang Pujami. Okay, you all can be seated. Yeah, then we will chant the invocation to the. Huh? How come? Didn't move. Oh, slow. Okay. So now I will chant the invocation to the devas. Huh? Invocation to the devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities come here. Let them hear the good teaching of the King of Sages, which is heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Deta Saddamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Sama Sambuddho Vijacarana Sampano Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandetiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanayiko Pachatang Veditato Venohiti Supatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Nyaya Patipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Samichi Patipano Bhagavato Saukasangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Saukasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Takeneyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now we shall continue from where we stop, the Heart Sutta. We were at page 9, chapter 2. So this chapter is very useful because it highlighted all the important essential Dhamma that a cultivator must at least develop the understanding. If you don't understand this essential Dhamma, you can't put it into cultivation. Then apart from that, the second part is the sharing on the Heart Sutta, meaning the sharing on the sixth Patriarch Sutta, Master Huining. So this sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta is a very important sutta. To understand Heart Sutta, you must understand the sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta. Otherwise, you cannot share. So they are interrelated. So I will start off with part 1. The first part is recapitulation and emphasis on the previous sharing or previous lesson. So a certain aspect has been repeated over here in note form. The first 1.1 section develops the 10 perfection or paramita of the Theravada tradition. So these are the 10 perfection that a bodhisattva must cultivate in order to become Sammasambuddha, and they have to perfect them all, finish them all. First one is Dana Parami, or what we call generosity Parami. Second one is Sila Parami. Sila is morality. The third Parami is Nikama. Nikama is renunciation. So here renunciation, the meaning is very deep, not just to renounce as a monk. You must have the ability to renounce all things that are impermanent, not real, that are dependent, originating, condition arising, cause of phenomena. Then the fourth paramita or perfection is panya. So panya is wisdom, then followed by virya. Virya is another spiritual faculty. It is the spiritual zeal or spiritual tenacity or energy to cultivate, to move this direction, to learn the Dhamma, to put the Dhamma into cultivation, to realize the awakening. Then the next paramita is Kanti. Kanti is patient endurance with wisdom, not just they call it you just like endure without understanding. That one is not patient. A lot of people actually try to suppress it because they think it must be done in such a manner, like the Cantonese word yan, run. So if it's without wisdom, you actually torturing yourself unnecessarily because you go and endure and become miserable without understanding. Patient endurance here means there is wisdom behind why you must have patience, like in cultivation. You cannot rush. You must have the patience to understand that everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomenon. When condition is still not there, things will not unfold. You have to cultivate sincerely with faith and persevere. Then don't try to know, just do. It will unfold when the condition is there. But constantly check your cultivation. Make sure you do not deviate. Make sure you are not led by delusion. You are led by genuine understanding. That's why stage one of Dhamma, Pariyatti, the learning of the teaching, is very important. If you don't learn it properly, then you cannot develop the cultivation. Because to put the teaching into cultivation, you must understand it first. If you don't have the understanding, you cannot do it. So this part is very important. Patient endurance. Then the next one is Satya. Satya is the perfection of truthfulness. When you have sincerity, you will speak the truth. Then this parami or Satya, truthfulness, is very easy to develop. There is no need to lie, to try to deceive, to try to hide your whatever motive. People who cannot speak the truth because they have ulterior motive, they want to lie due to certain personal selfish reason. So when you start to understand the Dhamma, you start to see how your form and mind actually stir, react, and develop the negativity of mind state or mental intention to deceive, to cheat, and to lie. There is always a selfish reason born of delusion. So check them. Why must you lie? Because the thought fear, the deluded mundane mind fear. Fear if they speak the truth, when the truth comes out, they will get into trouble. There's a certain time in life you cannot do that. If you do that, you will get into big trouble. So in the first place, don't ever go and create condition for you to land yourself into such situation. So especially spouse or close friend, you enter that marriage relationship because you are sincere. And when you are sincere, you trust each other. You will not lie, you will not cheat, you will not deceive. Then you can resolve everything amicably. But if you are not sincere in entering with that into that relationship or that marriage contract, then what will you do? Out of selfish reason, you will try to lie, cheat, deceive, and do a lot of funny things. Then when the truth cannot be covered up anymore, then what happens? When it come out into the open, when people realize that you have not been sincere, you have been lying, then you will land yourself in a very, very serious and difficult situation, which you find very difficult to resolve. If you have the wisdom and the understanding, you won't allow yourself to get into that stage. So this aspect of truthfulness, the parami of satya is very important. Then metta is of course loving kindness. Like the video I share, the 3 levels of metta, you should develop them. True metta is just universal love. And true metta has no opposite. If your love can turn into anger, hatred, envy, and jealousy, that is not love. That is poorly designed. Because you love with motive. When things go your way, when conditions fulfill your needs and desire, then you love. But when conditions don't fulfill, then love can become something else. And that is not metta. That's why when you have metta, the one that has the understanding and the wisdom, love is just love. You naturally, through your conscience, you will have that love that manifests naturally. There is a universal love. It embraces everything through an understanding. Because we are all together, the oneness nature. All is one, one is all. We are not apart from each other. So when you have that understanding, your love will pervade the whole oneness, the whole universe. There is only love. There is no negativity. All negativity of mind state come from the thought, the mundane mind, born of delusion, ignorance, the 3 evil roots. So when you understand that, you can develop metta. Then once the wisdom is developed, you will be in the state of equanimity, which is the last parami, the last perfection, upekkha. Upekkha is equanimity of mind, born of wisdom, not born of energy field, conditioned mind state, like the 4th jhana and all those things. No. This one is a free mind with wisdom. That's why it can be in a state of upekkha. And this perfection need a lot of wisdom. You need to complete the perfection of wisdom to realize this perfection. That's why perfection of wisdom is higher up. Then the last one is upekkha. These are the 10 perfections that the Bodhisattva who is intent to be a Sammasambuddha must cultivate and perfect them. What is it? Oh, sorry, I missed out aditana. Sorry, there's another perfection. Yeah, aditana is very important. Aditana is a very powerful and very important perfection. If you can develop this well, you will progress very fast. If you know how to apply it and use it. This perfection, my nature has perfected. That's why I know how to use it. It is very good at it and very conversant. So aditana is a type of aspiration or resolution that one makes. There is a self-determination, Like you make your vow, your aspiration, your adhitan, you make use of certain type of things that you have developed, like by the power of merge, you make that adhitana, or aspiration or vow or whatever. And sometimes by the power of truth, like the Buddha used. So by the power of truth is also very powerful. Then by the power of certain thing that you have done, like what the Buddha has taught Angulimala, since entering the monkhood ordained, he has not violated any of the monk's precept. So by the power of this truth, may what and what arise and happen. So the famous Angulimala Sutra comes from this one, where he was trying to help this pregnant lady who was going through a very difficult birth because it was a breech birth, means the head didn't come down, so the lady was in pain. But because of his sincerity, and after the Buddha had taught him, he has the faith, and he went ahead and chant and make this adhitan. Then both the mother and the child were safely born. That's why they say you want to have a good birth, you better pay respect to Angulimala, Venerable Angulimala. He's an Arahant. Then invoke power merged. Okay, so we finish here 1.1. Then 1.2 is the sixth perfection or paramitas of the Mahayana tradition. So the Mahayana tradition, they reduce it to 6. In actual fact, for cultivation, you need a 10. But this 6 is a simple modified perfection. Whereas to the Mahayana, you have this 6, you actually can complete the whole perfection. So they are quite similar, except the emphasis is slightly different. Dana parami is the same, Sila parami is the same, Virya parami is the same, Prajna parami or wisdom parami is the same, Kanti parami is the same. The only difference is Samadhi. So here they use Dhyan or Samadhi. So their Samadhi is actually not Upekkha, not equanimity. But when you develop Samadhi, you can realize the awakening, the enlightenment and all those things. So when the wisdom arises, then Upekkha become a very natural consequence of that cultivation. That's why when you have all those developed, you more or less would have perfected it. Then metta also is a natural consequence of virtue. Unless you have virtue, you cannot have genuine metta. What they lack here is adhitthana. They don't know how to use this. But adhitthana is a very powerful perfection, and you need them. Then the other one that they lack is renunciation. Renunciation. So anyway, if you want to become a Buddha, my advice is you do the 10 perfection, follow the Theravada tradition. Then 1.3, words of wisdom by the Buddha extracted from the Dhammapada verses on avoiding of evil, do good and purify the mind. They are having right views in regards to the law of karma. So these are the Dhammapada verses which are very important. They are verse 1, verse 2, verse 183, and Dhammapada verses 21, 22, and 23. And the final verse is saying by the Buddha before his passing away, parinibbana, his last advice. Apamadena sampadeta, strive on with heedfulness. That is his final advice. Okay, now I will read through. Verse 1 and 2, these are complementary verse. So verse 1, it starts with the mind. Here the mind is the mundane mind. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. Everything arises from the mind. So if one speak, act, and think with a wicked mind or an unwholesome mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, then suffering will follow one, like the wheel that follow the hoof of the cart or the oxen's cart. Verse 2, again the Buddha repeat, mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief. Everything arises from the mind. So if one speak, act, and think with a pure mind or a wholesome mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, then happiness will follow one, like the shadow that never leaves him. So this Dhammapada verse 1 and 2 is the twin verse, the very famous one. Since the Buddha already highlighted to us, our mind is very important. Mind is the forerunner of all things start from mind. And when mind arises, everything arises. So this is very important. If mind is so powerful, you have to take care of mind. So if you don't take care of mind, you don't train this mind to be heedful, then you will have problem. Then Dhammapada verse 1 will take its course. Here you will speak and think with a heedless mind, with an untrained mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Then suffering will follow you, as per Dhammapada verse 1. If you want to have the opposite, happy life, good life, then you should follow Dhammapada verse 2. Be heedful, train your mind, so that it can act, speak, and think with a wholesome mind, a pure mind, free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. And then happiness will follow you, like a shadow that never leaves. So if you want to have happiness, avoid Dhammapada verse 1. Train your mind to be heedful, ever mindful, constantly meditative, so that you will be able to act, speak, and speak and think in the proper manner, with a wholesome mind, pure mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. And then happiness is guaranteed. Happiness will follow you, like the shadow that never leaves you. Then the next three verses, verse 21, 22, 23, on heedfulness. These are from the Apamada the Dhammapada verse on heedfulness. They are verse 21 to verse 40, 20 verses. But this first three is the most important. So the Buddha said under verse 21, heedfulness is the path to the deathless, whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedful do not die, the heedless are as if dead. So if you want to be the undying, means you will never die, means you realize enlightenment and liberate from birth and death. Then you have to train your mind to be heedful, because only the heedful does not die. So heedfulness is the path to the deathless. You can realize the enlightenment, the deathless element. If you are heedful, then you are destined for enlightenment. Whereas if you are heedless, it will lead to death. The heedless are as if dead. Spiritually, you don't stand a chance. Spiritually, you are as if dead. So it's very clear. The heedful do not die, whereas the heedless are as if dead. So don't be heedless. Otherwise, spiritually, you are as if dead. You don't have life. Verse 22 confirm verse 21. He said, distinctly understanding the difference between heedfulness and heedlessness, the wise one will intend on heedfulness, and by doing so, they will rejoice in the rhyme of the Aryas or the enlightened one. So if you intend to train your mind to be heedful, you are destined for enlightenment, because you will rejoice in the rhyme of the Aryas or the enlightened one. Then verse 23. The constantly meditative, the ever mindful, and this is what heedfulness is all about. And the steadfast one, if you hold on to these two types of cultivation, the steadfast one, they will realize the born-free, supreme Nibbana. So this verse 23 confirms the moment you are heedful, means you are constantly meditative and ever mindful. That's why heedfulness consists of two components. First, you train your mind to be aware or mindful, then stabilize it to be ever mindful. Then use it to cultivate the meditation as taught by the Buddha, which is Noble Eightfold Path. That's why constantly meditative, ever mindful. You hold on to these two cultivation steadfastly, then you will realize the born-free Nibbana. So the Buddha confirmed for you that you are destined for enlightenment. You will realize the enlightenment state of Nibbana. Then 1.4, the Buddha's advice before his parinibbana. This is the most important advice. The Buddha told the monk, Apamadena Sampadeta, strive on with heedfulness. See the importance of heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are already home, destined for enlightenment. So not that difficult. Right? You only have to develop the faith, sincerity, and persevere to cultivate, to develop this heedfulness. To do that, train your mind to be mindful, stabilize it to be ever mindful, then use it to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path. Finish. You are already heedful. But constantly meditative means whole day in the state of mindfulness, means daily mindfulness, sati sampajana, ever mindful, cultivating Noble Eightfold Path. That is the mind state that you need to develop while you are under training. I remember during 88 and 89. In fact, I started in 1986, 86, 87, 88. Then by the time I finished off, I think early 89. Early 89, I remember, around January. My nature developed the understanding because it did this. That time I was still working as a civil engineer. And throughout the day, I am cultivating, constantly meditative, ever mindful, non-stop. And it can be done because I did it. So that time was really beautiful, marvelous. There were a lot of good conditions behind because of my past nature. And the message from Kuan Yin's nature is very important. One of the main motivating factor and one of the main great beings that help my nature. And this time is if it's not because of Kuan Yin, this form of mind will have died at least 2 times. So because of Kuan Yin's nature, it survived. Then when the time came, 1986, the message came so clearly. She put a triple gem on my hand, poured out from her vase, and she held my hand and said, "You have to move fast, not much time left." Then immediately I arose from that clarity state of message that I received. And straight away, with tears in my eyes, gratitude and respect, I pay my respect and vow to follow the advice. And from that moment onward, I really went full time, all out to cultivate. And really strange, because after I received that one, when I started to do that, the teacher come, the book come, the guide come, everything come, whatever I need, it just arises. They're very funny. When I received them, when I met them, I just understand. And some of them don't really teach me like the way I share and teach you all. No, I met them, most of them, I met them once a while, sometimes once or twice a year, or when they come by. Then I will volunteer to fetch them. Then I will listen to their sharing, teaching. I record them all. I listen and listen and listen. I was very attentive. That time, my whole family also was with me. It started all in Master Shen Hall. After that, 1986, we take refuge. Then after that, Ajayantra came. Then later on, my second last teacher, then the guide. Then in between, there were many great monks that I met. Of course, local one also we had Chief Reverend Mahinda, and I think some of the Thai tradition they came. Then when I visited Thailand on a number of spiritual trips, I met many, including Ajahn Mahabowang, Long Potet. Ajahn Chah, I didn't manage to see him in person, but I received his book. I visited his way place. The way place was Wat Pat Pong, the northeast of Thailand. Then Wat Pat Nanachat. So we had some beautiful spiritual trip. That was in the year. That one was much later. Much later. By that time, I already had the understanding. I remember I traveled to Thailand, to China, and many parts of the world, even to Australia, New Zealand, to visit my guide, my teacher. By then, I already have my understanding. That's why during those few years, it was really beautiful. A lot of things happened. That's how I came to know that this spiritual trip helps. That's why later on I came back when I started the sharing. I remember the importance of spiritual trip, the condition and all those things. That's why I willing to organize and lead. And it has been tradition for the last 15 years. Now it's 15 plus years. I came out in the year 2004 to share. 15 years after the year 1989 when my nature was ready. So all this fall into place. That's how it happened. Okay, I will read on. Note, the heedful never die, means eternal life spiritually. The heedless are as if dead spiritually, no chance of gaining enlightenment. So be heedful, ever mindful, constantly meditative. That's why heedfulness is most important. For sati is life. Without sati, there is no heedfulness. And with heedfulness, you are destined for enlightenment because the heedful never die. Okay, then 1.5, the final summary of the First Noble Truth of dukkha. This one is very important. The Buddha said, in short, is the attachment or grasping and clinging to the five aggregates of form and mind, or upadana khandhas, of the form and mind, via one's self-delusion or ignorance, that I call dukkha, or suffering, or misery. The word dukkha, or Sanskrit, or in Sanskrit is dukkha, is one of those Pali terms that cannot be translated adequately into English by one word. For no English word covers the same ground as dukkha in Pali. Suffering, ill will, anguish, unsatisfactoriness are some of the favorite renderings. The words pain, misery, sorrow, conflict, and so forth are also used. The word dukkha, however, includes all of that and more than that. So this one you can read up from the book, The Buddha's Ancient Path by Piyadasi Thera. Is on page 37. Okay, we move on. 1.6, the 7 factors of enlightenment, Satta Bhujanga. These are the mind state that can lead to enlightenment. That's why it's called the enlightenment factors. And these 7 factors are the main one. There is also the 37 factors of enlightenment. That one is slightly different. They are also called factors of enlightenment. But the main one for the cultivator and the meditator is this 7 Satta Bhujanga. These are the main one. The rest are not the real main one. Sati or mindfulness is the first of the 7 factors of enlightenment, followed by investigation of Dhamma or Dhamma Vichaya, which is the second factor of enlightenment. Without sati, one cannot be heedful. or ever mindful. Hence, one cannot investigate the Dhamma. So this is very clear. You need to train your mind to be mindful, then ever mindful, then use it to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path to become heedful. Then the moment you are heedful, you can investigate the Dhamma. Otherwise, you cannot. That is the reason why sati or heedfulness is very important. For sati is life, because the heedless are as if dead. So without sati, you cannot develop heedfulness. With sati, one can investigate the Dhamma, and it is the truth. And if it is the truth, then this Dhamma will stand up to investigation, thereby giving us the strong faith in the Buddha and his teaching. So with faith will come virya, which is the spiritual zeal. And virya is the third enlightenment factor. This virya will arise, thereby enabling one to cultivate the Dhamma according to the Buddha's advice. Sati will then stabilize, and piti, or the spiritual joy, which is the fourth enlightenment factor, will arise naturally. Because the moment you are in sati without thought, you become peaceful, calm, and that is what piti is all about. Piti is the spiritual calmness, spiritual joy. So when you are in the state of mindfulness without thought, you will experience piti, the calmness of mind. So piti, oh sorry, yeah. Once piti is stabilized and become more refined, it will accumulate into passaddhi or tranquility of mind, which is the fifth enlightenment factor. So this passaddhi is very important. Passaddhi is the tranquility of mind or stillness of mind. So when you stabilize piti, initially it will transform into sukhang, very blissful state. But don't attach, please. If you attach to it, you get stuck there. Then every time you meditate, you look for piti and sukhang, you will get trapped. So sukhang, although it's a very blissful mind state, don't cling, don't attach. Just relax, silent, and maintain awareness. Then let it settle down and become more and more quiet, more and more quiet, until that sukhang also like fade away, disappear. Then the mind become very quiet, very still, like no thought, no more mind state, no more movement. Even sankhara also no more. Where this sukha and piti are mind state called sankhara. So you relax, silent everything until it becomes very quiet and very still, until there is no thought, no mind state, no aggregate of mind, nothing. And that is your true mind. That is your silent mind, your meditative mind. And this is the mind that has entered sati. So once you realize this enlightenment factor of passaddhi, the fifth enlightenment factor, then you are very near to enlightenment. Yeah, this one will let you understand what the true mind is. Then the real meditation starts. That's why when mind enters sati, then only you can stabilize your silent mind and use the silent mind to meditate, to just develop the stability of silence, to be aware of what is going on. Today I sent out the Krishnamurti Quote again, I think, in the highlighted form. So that one, if you go through, if you can understand, it will help you a lot. So I believe most of you have seen the quote. Anyway, I will read to you that quote. Okay, you listen. This J. Krishnamurti quote is about how to develop the observation of what is. So J. Krishnamurti said to observe what is within oneself. One must have a sense of no resistance. You must not resist anything or fear of distraction. Just observe. But watch exactly What is the reality without any movement of thought. That's why don't try to know, don't think, just silent the way, stabilize it. If you can do that, then it's beautiful. That's why Krishnamurti put that. That is quite an art, not so easy, because most people don't have the patience. They keep on using the thought they want to know. Right? If you can watch exactly what is taking place within one without a movement means no movement of thought, no sankhara activity, or there is no movement of aggregates of mind. Then you will find the content of consciousness, which will give rise to great wisdom. Where this content of consciousness is after the mundane mind input the content of consciousness. You can only see it if you are completely silent, because the content that is inside can develop the ability to manifest itself, so that your awareness, your silent mind is just aware, can see clearly, can understand what the content is. So your content of consciousness, if it's without wisdom, if it's with wrong view, then how it stirs the mind, how it arises, the evil roots, how the mental hindrance arise, you see them all. That's why you come to understand who are you, what are you, how you become like that. Yeah. So when you lack wisdom, this is what happens. But when you have wisdom, then this thing will not happen. Mm. So this is the very beautiful quote. Huh? So hope you can go through it and develop the understanding. Mm. Now I'll go back to the 7 factors of enlightenment. So after the paucity or tranquility of mind, which is the 5th factor of enlightenment, you have to continue to stabilize it. With paucity becoming more and more stable, the mind will accumulate into samadhi, a stable, collected, and unwavering mind. Here, collected and unwavering means this mind does not stir. It is collected and unwavering, means at the moment of sense experience, you have developed this samadhi in the form of meditation, make it very stable. Then when you come out of it, mind has entered sati, then you can stabilize this so-called passaddhi until it becomes samadhi. Then you are in the state of samadhi in the midst of life during the daily mindfulness. And at the moment of sense experience, your mind is collected. It will not stir. It will not waver. So there will be no like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant. Then the input of content of consciousness will not go in. Then you can see things as they are without words, the direct seeing. That's why you can understand very fast, very clearly. And your insight into phenomena, that mind, which is in the state of sati, leading to passaddhi and samadhi, can awaken, can see things as they are, can insight into phenomena, and can understand what is going on. Like Krishnamurti Quote, it can see the content of consciousness, that it can understand why you behave like that, how you are conditioned into such mind state, why your mind stir earlier on. That is see clearly. When samadhi is there, it cannot stir, means you see things as they are, without words. Then you realize, before you input the content of consciousness, there was nothing. That's why when you see things as they are, you don't see anything. That's why the Surangama Sutta, the famous sentence or verse, perception of form is consciousness, whereas its non-perception is wisdom. That's why when you see things as they are without words and concept, you see things as they are without words, without concept. Means there is wisdom. Whereas the moment you perceive it, it becomes consciousness, the mundane mind. So seeing has 3 levels, like the Mahayana teaching. First level is mundane seeing, 看山是山, because when you see a mountain, it is mundane seeing. Everybody say this is mountain, conditioning, memory. That's why you also say 看山是山. But the moment you develop the direct seeing, there is no word, no concept, nothing. At that time, the second level of seeing is 看山不是山, where there is nothing there. Then when you go back to normal with the wisdom, you can accord and flow, then there is suchness seen. Then if the person with the enlightenment come, he say, no mountain. Yeah, no mountain. Then the other guy that come, mundane one, he said there is a mountain. Ah, yes, mountain. That's like 看山又是山. At the third stage, suchness seeing means you see things as they are, following condition, accord and flow, no argument, nothing. That's why you are always at peace. So this is how the samadhi can lead you to enlightenment, awakening. Then when you see things as they are without the interference of your brain, your memory, your views, opinion, and conditioning, then you can see things as they are. You don't see that thing through your conditioned mind, conditioned perception, your views and opinions. That's why you cannot stir your mind. You cannot develop all the delusion, the evil roots, the like and dislike, the duality. So this is how you train your mind. This is how the sixth enlightenment factor of samadhi can help you. And once you insight into phenomena through the direct seeing, awakening, and understanding the content of consciousness to straighten your view, then you become enlightened. And when you have the enlightenment, the last one, equanimity, upekkha, will arise. So this six factor of enlightenment, samadhi, will enable you to develop wisdom. So with sati and samadhi in place, wisdom or panya will keep on arising. And this will give rise to the seventh enlightenment factor, which is upekkha or equanimity of mind. Without wisdom, this equanimity is not the real one. The real seven factors of enlightenment, the last one, it is born of a free mind in the state of equanimity, not a conditioned state, and not the fourth jhana type of equanimity. That one also equanimity, where it's held on by energy field, a conditioned state of mind, in absorption or one-pointedness of mind. Okay. Then note, samadhi is a stable, collected, unwavering mind that does not waver at the moment of sense experience while in the midst of life. This is to explain further. Then 1.7, the three universal characteristics of nature. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. This one, I believe most of you would have developed the understanding. But anyway, I will explain it a little bit more so that you can understand. These three universal characteristics, the Buddha called it universal characteristic. This is a characteristic that is common to all things. It's a universal characteristic. Means within our conditioned world, our entire universe, all things, they exhibit these universal characteristics of impermanent, because ours is a conditioned world. Everything needs condition to arise. That's why whatever that needs condition to arise is called a condition arising phenomenon. Condition arising based on condition. That's why it's also called dependent originating. Dependent on those conditions, this thing arise. Dependent on those conditions, the other things arise. And with the cessation of such condition, such thing also cease. That's why it is in a state of flux, continuously evolving, exhibiting the universal characteristics of change. Because it's condition arising cause of phenomena. That's why it's impermanent, not a permanent and changing entity that you can grasp and cling and hold on to. And all these phenomena, they transform, flow, and continue to sustain themselves or cease in accordance with condition. following nature's law. The 5 universal order of nature, Pancha Niyama, that the Buddha has taught. The first 2 are scientific law, Uttu Niyama, physical law of nature, and Bija Niyama, biological order of nature. And the next 3 is a spiritual law, Karma Niyama, law of karma, Chitta Niyama, law of mind, Dhamma Niyama, law of truth, Dhamma. So these 5 universal order, they governs all phenomena, may it be impermanent or whatever. So whether it's physical phenomena, mental phenomena, or nature's phenomena, it exhibit this characteristic because they follow this nature's law. Then if you want things your way, which is not in accordance with nature's way of following nature's law, then you will suffer, the Buddha said, because when you cannot get what you want, you will suffer. That's why without wisdom, you cannot understand the nature's law that governs life and existence. With wisdom, when you understand the nature's law that governs life and existence, you will develop wisdom, you will accord and flow, because you will understand exactly like what the Buddha has taught you. When condition is like that, things will be like that. It cannot be otherwise. So if you still continue to attach, cling, and grasp and want things your way, you will suffer. That's why the universal characteristics of dukkha will arise. The moment you understand anicca, you will understand dukkha. That's why it's a natural consequence. The first thing that people realize is always impermanent. Then from impermanent, you will straight away understand what suffering is. Because without understanding the first universal characteristic, the second one cannot arise. And without understanding the second one, the third one also cannot arise. Because the third one is a natural consequence of the first and second one. So the first one will let you understand that all phenomena are dependent on originating condition arising. That's why it's not a permanent unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp onto, hold on to, and say, this is me, this is I. Therefore, all this can be mine. Impossible. That's how the anatta nature, the first aspect, come about. If it's not a permanent unchanging entity, then you cannot grasp onto them, cling onto them, and hold on to them, and proclaim that this is me, this is I. Therefore, all this can be mine. You will understand that this form and mind of ours is non-self, not what you think. Here is not a permanent unchanging entity. So you will not be deluded by it. You will not cling on to it. This self-delusion, thinking that it belongs to you, was cease to be. That's how you will understand. The moment you understand impermanent, you will understand non-self. Then the moment you understand impermanent and the suffering state, you will not cling, you will not attach, you will not grasp. Where you will see clearly that there is no reality. Empty nature of existence. Things just come and go, arise and pass away, depending on condition they arise. Depending on condition they move on. When condition cease to be, it cease to be. 来也空，去也空. And the only reality is within the moment. And how stable is the moment? Split second is there and gone. Split second is there and gone. Phenomena just evolve and flow. Like my teacher Achayandra used to say, only mighty nature rolling by, nothing in between. Everything is nature. That's why I use the word mighty nature, rolling by. He know you, he know me. Understand this clearly, see this clearly. Then when you develop the stability of this contemplative wisdom, when you silence your mind, one day you will insight into phenomena and awaken to the 3 universal characteristics. My nature awakened in 1989 when my second last teacher just moved her hand. Can you on back the video? I show you how it happened. And hopefully you all can also develop the understanding. There was one day I remember we were at her house listening to her sharing. Then she tried to explain to one Singaporean, Casey Un. He told him, he said, listen, see. Then I was next to him. She just moved her hand. She just moved it up here and then move again. I straight away awakened to the three universal characteristics. And she just say, see, then it moved, then it moved. Then I realized that's how phenomena arise and pass away. Without that condition of the hand movement, there is no arising phenomena. Then this phenomena will cease the moment he moves again. Then I realized everything in this universe is like that. Innate condition for it to arise. And when condition arise, it arises. And when condition cease to be or it moves, it will cease to be, and another phenomenon will arise. So it's just so simple. Yeah. But you have to have that condition within you. You must contemplate until very clear. You must meditate until you realize the characteristics of impermanence. So earlier on, when I meditate, I was at my heartbeat here. Then I suddenly realized, without word, without thought, all of a sudden, the nature understand that there was nothing inside there. Every thought is a different thought, arising and passing away, arising and passing. Every heartbeat is a different beat. No connection at all. Then every of this movement within my physical body, the vibration, the sensation, the feeling, the sankhara, I saw it so clearly. That's why this nature can understand and awaken. Then when it was ready, that hand movement trigger off. And that one is not just that phenomenon. It allows my nature to understand the totality of phenomena, that all phenomena is like that. Then after that, my understanding transformed, my nature transformed without word. And it was so beautiful, so amazing, so wonderful. Then after that, when I started to move, I was fully aware that all of phenomena I can see very clearly. The moment of its arising, sustaining, and passing away. Keep on seeing, keep on seeing. Then the arising, the passing away, the disappearing, and all that. So you keep on seeing in the midst of life and nature. Everything is like that. Every perception is like that. Every mental phenomena is like that. Every nature's phenomena is like that. Every physical phenomena is like that. All things have this universal characteristic. That's how you awaken. But you have to understand the condition arising universal characteristic. With this condition arising understanding that the Buddha has taught, dependent originating, paticca samuppada is very important. It's the basis of understanding the three universal characteristics of nature. If you cannot see paticca samuppada, dependent originating, you cannot awaken. If you cannot see the condition arising aspect of phenomena, you cannot awaken. Okay? So you have to silence your mind to see them. Then 1.8, I have gone through the 5 universal law of nature, or order of nature, Panchaniyama, that governs all life and existence in this universe. The first two are scientific laws, Uttuniyama or physical law of nature, Vijaniyama or biological order of nature. So all physical law behave in that manner, following the physical law, Uttuniyama, like all of physics, chemistry, or physical thing, they will have that law to govern them. And all the biological things, like whatever that has organic in nature, like our physical body, the fish, the animal, the ghost, the insect. So this one follow the biological order. So if you want to crossbreed a sheep or a dog, you have to make sure it's the same species. You cannot get a cat and a cow when you try to crossbreed them. You can't. But the same species, you can. So they have their biological order to govern. So all these scientists, they have actually developed a lot of understanding. That's why the last 30, 40 years, they progress very fast, especially the last 20 to 30 years. Science has actually progressed very fast, where they understand these two laws more and more, more and more, with deeper understanding. They explore the universe, they explore nature. That's why they start to unravel the secret of life, the secret of nature. So now they even understand how the weather come about, how the planet, how the star system, how they are formed and all those things. So all this come from the physical law of nature. Next three are the spiritual law of nature. This spiritual law of nature, like I explained, Kama Niyama is law of Kama, Chitta Niyama is law of mind, then Dhamma Niyama is law of truth or Dhamma as taught by the Buddha. Understanding these three spiritual laws that governs life and existence will give rise to the three important right view as taught by the Buddha in his Noble Eightfold Path teaching. That is, right view in regards to the law of karma. Then you also have to understand, you reap what you sow, do good begets good, do evil begets evil. Then you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma, and you are what you are because of your karma, etc. So this one is very powerful, the law of karma. When you understand this, you will understand how the teaching of the Buddhas come about, how the advice of the Buddha come about. Because this law of karma is so powerful. We are born of it, heir to it, conditioned and supported by it, and we are what we are. So our entire life, almost 100% depend on karma. So if you don't take care of karma, your life will become miserable. So the real understanding is very important. When you understand this is the state of condition within the conditioned world, you have to take care of karma. So how do you take care of karma? You have to avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind, following the advice of the Buddha. That is how verse 183 come about. Sabba papasa akaranam kusalesa upasambadan sachitta pariyotapanam etang buddhana sasana. So this is the advice of all Buddha. So all Buddha, when they come, they teach the same. Sabba papasa means all evil you have to avoid. Akaranam. Kusalesa means wholesomeness. You have to do or develop that. So upadana. Oh, sorry. No, before that. Sabba papasa akarananga kusalesa upasambadan. Kusala means wholesomeness. Kusala. Not akusala. Akusala is immoral. Kusala is moral. Moral, mind state of wholesomeness. You must do more. Then sachitta is mind. Purify the mind. That is the voice of all the Buddha. Okay? So this is how the teaching starts. Then how do you avoid all evil? The Buddha teach the precept. You have to keep the precept. Why? Because you reflect and contemplate on the precept, you realize if you violate this precept, you commit major evil. Those who have the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, they will break this precept, they will violate this precept. That's why to avoid all evil, you have to avoid the condition for you to break the precept. You must keep your precept mindful, heedful, so that you don't break your precept. That's why you must renew your precept and determine to train your mind to be mindful, to be heedful, to see clearly your mental intention behind, to understand what constitutes evil. Then when you develop all this training through constantly hearing the Dhamma, reflection, contemplation, to develop the stability of understanding, then you can put it into practice. You can cultivate. With mindfulness, you can see. Then use the 5 ways to abandon them, to clear the unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, and unwholesome action. Okay, next is law of mind. This one is Paticca Samuppanna. You have to see the law of dependent origination, the dwelling as taught by the Buddha. Paticca Samuppanna, we had a book based on a Dhamma sharing that I delivered in the year 2005, about 15 years ago. It's a very good book. The 2 hour plus talk is very comprehensive, and they did the transcript. It's available even on the website, redactio.com. And the third one is law of Dhamma. So this one is mainly the Four Noble Truths and its three turning, the five aggregates of Brahman, the five spiritual faculties, etc. So understanding these three great laws is likened to the understanding of the secret of life, giving rise to the wisdom to enable one to truly live life. Having this right view will lead to the understanding of non-delusion, non-attachment, non-grasping, and non-clinging, etc. Hence freeing and liberating one's mind from all suffering. This pancha niyama can also be explained by the four aspects of Dhamma or nature as taught by Ajahn Buddhadasa. This one is Ajahn Buddhadasa from Suan Mok, not the Venerable Buddha Gosa. Buddha Gosa is the one, the Hindu scholar that wrote the Visuddhimagga, the big book. Now these two persons are different. This Ajahn Buddhadasa is actually the teacher of my teacher. My teacher, Ajahn Yantra's teacher, is Ajahn Buddhadasa. He is from Suan Mok. Suan Mok, South Thailand, Surat Thani. Suan Mok, the meaning is Garden of Liberation. You go there, you can become enlightened. Your mind can be liberated. I was there a few times on a few occasions. And Ajahn Yantra's hometown also nearby there, not too far away. I forgot the name of the place. It's near the sea, the southern part of Thailand, near Surat Thani, facing the sea, near Grand Isthmus Canal. I cannot remember the name. One day, if I remember, I'll let you know. The first aspect is, he said, there is nature. In Thai, he called it Tamachat. I still remember, there is nature. And I like his way of definition, where he based it on the five Panchaniyamas. He said, first aspect of Dhamma, there is nature, mighty nature. The second aspect is there are laws that governs nature. Then the third aspect is the best. He said, there is a duty, a right duty that each and every one of us must perform towards this law of nature that governs nature. If you violate this law, you get into trouble. If you do this right duty in accordance, you will have good life. This is also similar to our three phases of Dhamma. The third phase of Dhamma is Pativeda. That's why all the enlightened disciples of the Buddha, under the salutation to the Sangha, when you chant, there is one part of right conduct. Dutiful conduct. Of dutiful conduct is the order of the enlightened disciple of the Buddha. And this is the aspect. So this third aspect is very important, even though the form and mind is not real, not us. But this is subject to karma. Because it's subject to karma, we have a right duty. We cannot simply do things. So this form and mind has to develop the right view, to arise the right understanding, to avoid all evil, do good. That's why there is this right duty to avoid all evil, do good. Purify the mind, to develop the wisdom and the understanding, so that you can live the life of an enlightened being. To realize that third phase of Dhamma, Pativeda, means you reap the fruit of your hard work to live the life of an enlightened being. And the fourth aspect is reaping the fruit of one's hard work. This is the one. After having performed that right duty, So once you have performed the right duty, you get to live the third phase of Dhamma. And third phase of Dhamma is the most beautiful. Because under this phase, you can live the life of enlightened being. You can live life to the fullest. You can experience all of the beauty, the pristine beauty and wonders of life. Then, like the Heart Sutta says, within true emptiness, when you understand the teaching, life is wonderful. 真空妙有. When you have penetrated through emptiness, you have developed the penetrative wisdom to live the wonderful life. So this form of mind, even though not real, not you, but there is such thing as life. There is such thing as the third phase of Dhamma, Pativeda. So you can get to reap the fruit of your hard work. Okay? Okay, so after that is the last, most important aspect, 1.9. The three evil roots, or the three poison. Why do they call poison? Because it will kill you spiritually. The greed, hatred, and delusion. They are in Pali Loba. Loba, which includes all of your greediness, all of your greed, selfishness, lust, craving, covetousness, desire, deceitfulness, cunningness, etc. So this is a very wide range of greed. The evil roots of greed can come in many forms. That's why the Pali word is beautiful, loba, not loba, loba. Then dosa is hatred. Hatred includes whatever you hate, your anger, your aversion, your envy, your jealousy, your dislike, your negative emotion, your sorrow, lamentation, grief, etc. And finally, is moha. Moha is delusion. Moha is self-delusion or sakayaditi that condition one's egoic mind to arise the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, leading to the egoic personality of selfishness, craving, fear, worry, anxiety, etc. So this moha is the main delusion. Without moha, self-delusion, there is no greed and no hatred or negativity of emotion. So this hate and greed, or the first two evil roots, is a result of the third one. Without self-delusion, there is no sakayaditi, self-delusion. Then there is no personality to own thing, possess thing, and have thing. That's how the evil root of greed arises. Then there is no being to be emotional, angry, violent, and jealousy, everything. Once the atta is no more, all these evil cease to be. That's why self-delusion is a very powerful delusion. They are the roots of all evil. Always remember that. You have them in your mind state or your mundane mind or your heart, then it will make you evil. If you have them in your consciousness or mind state, then it will condition and cause you to become a very evil person. So it is very important to develop the training of the mind via meditation, to be always heedful so that you can be aware of your mental intention at all times. And if there is any of the three evil roots, then we should arise the appropriate right effort to abandon it or prevent it from arising. Otherwise, it will condition us in the negativity, leading to all the suffering. As they are also called the three poison, they will kill us spiritually if we allow them to stay in our heart. Yes, I don't hold on to your anger, your jealousy, your grudges, don't, or remorse. These are evil, poison. It will kill you spiritually. That's why people who hold on to all this negativity of mind state, we call it the wrong thought. They suffer, they become miserable. I already explained to you what are wrong thoughts. That is more important. Wrong thoughts are thoughts that condition your fear, your worry, your anxiety, your sorrow, your lamentation, your evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. These are all wrong thoughts. So understand them. So whenever you are not peaceful, you are not happy, the evil roots are there. Be mindful of it and see the manifestation of the three evil roots. Not until you understand this clearly, you cannot cultivate. It's only after you understand, develop the ability to be ever mindful, then only the real cultivation starts. Means daily mindfulness in the midst of life to see all this. That's why I say silent your mind. Just maintain awareness to see. When you see, you awaken. You will straighten your view. Then you will know why you behave like that, why your Monday mind stir. Then when you know it's due to your own view, self-delusion, scarcity, after you have gone through the Avijja Sutta training, then constantly listening to the Dhamma, then reflection, contemplation, inquiry, then stabilize your understanding, then develop the daily mindfulness to develop the third turning wisdom. If you do this, you will awaken. That's why you have to be mindful, aware, silent to see. Unless you see, you cannot awaken. You cannot understand. But the moment you see, you awaken, you understand. Then you will not fall back again. You will know how to straighten your view and change your perception completely, entirely. You won't go back to the old way. Then you will come to understand heedful living is so beautiful compared to heedless living. You will never be heedless anymore. Mm. Okay, 1.10 is the most important. Listen to this carefully. Seeing beyond form and understanding Nibbana. To develop basic wisdom, one must have the ability to see form as they are. Means the first level of seeing, mundane seeing. And the unreality of form via its condition arising phenomena is impermanent, suffering and non-self or empty nature, leading to the ability to see beyond form. So the second part is very important. You have to see the unreality of form. Why is it not real? Why is it impermanent, not a permanent and changing entity? Like the Buddha said, they are dependent, originating, condition arising. That's why I see that. See its condition arising phenomena clearly with a silent mind in the midst of daily mindfulness, in your formal meditation. See them. Then see how it relates to impermanent. Because they are condition arising causal phenomena in a state of flux, never remain the same. So how can it be permanent? That's why the book of change, the only reality in this conditioned world is change. That is the only truth. Everything change in a state of flux. And you understand change, you understand many things. You can develop a lot of wisdom. So this aspect of condition arising phenomena, because condition arising is dependent originating. That's why I call it causal phenomena. Condition arising, causal phenomena, dependent originating phenomena. Then, because it's condition arising, causal phenomena, dependent originating, it is impermanent. And when you see impermanent, you will see suffering, like I explained just now. That they follow nature's law. Unless you accord and flow with wisdom, you will suffer. When you want things your way, you will suffer. Then the other aspect is after you see impermanent and the suffering state, you will also understand non-self because it's not a permanent, unchanging entity. And because it's dependent originating, constantly in a state of flux, that's why it come and go, appear, disappear, appear, disappear. And there is no reality. The only reality is the present moment. How stable is it? Split second is dead and gone. So what is life? There is no reality. He no you, he no me. Only mighty nature rolling by. Everything just arise and pass away. Not what you think. So because of that, you will see the empty nature of existence, no reality. Like I used to explain, since birth until now, you can never deny you have lived those phases of life. But I ask you one question now, this present moment. Is it real? All of them happened before, but you can only recall through memory. 往事只能回味. There is no reality. It's dead and gone. Every moment, split second, dead and gone. See it. And that is the only reality. So how real can life be when the highest in life, the present moment, is so transient? Split second is dead and gone. Split second is dead and gone. See it. Understand it. When you see in the meditation, you understand very fast. But when you contemplate and reflect deep, you can also understand. Then you can see in the real meditation. Then when you have the ability to see it and develop the stability of understanding, your wisdom will be very stable. You become very different. Then the third turning wisdom, you can awaken very fast. Okay, I read on. Inability to see beyond form will result in form delusion. This is very obvious. Because one will grasp at the external form, their one's own self-delusion caused by identification with the external form, thinking that they are also real, as form divine. So once we identify via identification with form, let us say with the external form, which is the physical body, then one will create the attachment to this body via delusion, hence worrying about it getting old, getting sick, and die. It can also create duality of male and female gender, race identification, young and old, and age identification, etc., leading to all the unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, possibility of conflict and argument caused by external form identification and division. So see clearly how thought divide based on self-delusion where we identify with form. That's why delusion will trap you. Form delusion will trap you within the field of form. Then later on, thought delusion will trap you within the field of thought. So you have to see beyond form and see beyond thought. Unless you can see form, see the unreality of form through the three universal characteristics, then only you can see beyond form. And when you can see beyond form, all these things will fail to have any power over you. The whole of the phenomenal world of form will collapse in front of you because you like suddenly wake up. That's why that Surangama, very beautiful verse. Perception of form is consciousness, whereas its non-perception is wisdom. Very beautiful, very powerful. Okay, then we read on that. We have gone through this not yet. Unless you have the ability to see beyond form, chances are you will not be able to see mind because mind is much more subtler and more intangible than the solid external form. And unless you can see mind, the mundane mind, as it is, we are the silent mind. See, again, the silent mind is the deep. True wisdom cannot arise. For Nibbana is a cessation of form and mind. So it is very important for you to stabilize your silent mind, your true mind, and develop the ability to see, not with the flesh eye, with the awareness, to understand everything that arises and passes away, that unfolds. See clearly the mundane creation, the content of consciousness that the mundane mind creates. You input the content of consciousness, it becomes a thought. So when you understand the content of consciousness, you will know what that thought is, whether it's kusala or akusala, whether the evil roots are there. Then why it conditions you to move that way, how your mind still react, develop all the fear, worry, anxiety, selfishness, emotional negativity, everything. You will understand when you saw them. Then when you saw them, you can trace their origination factor. Then you will trace back to your memory, your conditioning, your views, your opinion, and all of your uh, traditional belief, or what they call belief systems and all those things. So all this, you will start to develop the understanding through the silent mind's ability to be aware of all this movement activity. That's how you develop the understanding. Then when you understand, you can straighten your mind, and you can actually develop the ability to free your mind, to liberate, to awaken. Then the cessation of form and mind, which is Nibbana, can arise. The Mahayana call it 不生不灭, means you go into complete cessation. And it's not stillness alone, no. The tranquility and stillness with the pure awareness is still not Nibbana. When Nibbana arises, everything ceases. Even the pure awareness also ceases. No mind and completely ceases. The brain also no more movement, no more activity, but you are not dead. And heartbeat stop, everything stop, but you are not dead. Then there is a pure energy, which is very different, very beautiful. You will understand when you have the condition to develop it. So learn to see from the unreality of form, then learn to see beyond form, leading to your ability to see the mundane mind clearly. You cannot see beyond form, you cannot see the mundane mind. This can then lead to the realization of impermanent and empty nature of the mundane mind or thinking mind, leading to your ability to see beyond the mundane mind, via the silent mind to realize one's true nature, which is beyond thought and beyond mind. At the mundane mind level, one can still cling on to one's views and opinion and religious label, etc. Hence the division again. At the mind level, leading to all the conflict and argument caused by one's self-delusion as before. So when you see beyond the physical form, you see mind. Our mind has a lot of similarity, but it still has difference in it, even though the form identification no more, like gender, race, color, male, female, everything no more. But you have your views, your opinion, your belief system, your conditioning, your fear, everything that you hold on within your memory, within your content of consciousness, the whole bundle of memory, religious label and all that. So all this still make you different. That's why as a Christian, you will be having different belief system, and you will have viewpoint from the Christian point of view. Then you can still argue with the other religion. That's why you must have an open mind. You must have wisdom to see things as they are. So you have to not only see beyond form, you have to see beyond mind. After you see beyond mind, what happens? Yeah? Okay, I read notes. Word divides via form and thought identification due to sakayaditi and ignorance. Hence, only if one can see things as they are, that is via the direct seeing without words, concept, and labeling, etc. Only then there is no more form and thought delusion to condition one's grasping and clinging, leading to all the suffering. That is, if you cannot see form and the unreality of form, then you will not be able to see beyond form. And everything you come to perceive via your mundane mind, which is consciousness only, will be like so real to you and so meaningful to you. Hence a self-delusion or sakayaditi. Also, Dhammapada verses 1 and 2 said, mind is a foreigner of all things, and mind is chief. And everything arises from the mind. One must be wary of mind. So this one is to let you understand. Yeah? So if you cannot see beyond form, you cannot see mind. If you cannot see mind, you cannot develop the wisdom to see beyond mind. If you cannot see beyond mind, you cannot realize your nature. you cannot realize the enlightenment. That's why you have to see the unreality of form, the unreality of mind, so that you can see beyond form, beyond mind. Then develop the wisdom to awaken, to realize Nibbana. It can be a glimpse initially, and later on you go into the complete cessation to understand deeper. Then you go the Bodhisattva way, you can detect the gateway to your nature. And then you develop the higher training, the path of the Bodhisattva, cultivation with the fourth support, trust. And you develop meditation through the silent mind by locating your gateway. Then develop that meditative training through trust. No more using thought, nothing. Just that nature develop the meditation on its own. All this you will do later. For the sainthood way, you don't need to go to that level or extent. Okay, 10:09, I think I better stop. Part 2, we will keep it for next week. Huh? So today I think it's enough, huh? Good enough. Okay, we will end here for Q&A. Huh? So if you have any question, you can ask, huh? Like before. You can unmute your speaker and can just come in. Huh? Anybody? Anybody with any question or anything that you want to share or add? Anybody? You just on your speaker and just speak, and we will trace you. Oh, so 要问什么吗？
Radio，
Yes，
Radio 想 share 一个 experience
很好，沙丢，
是关于我在读这个 Heart Sutra OK during 那个MCO 前面的那个那几天我都一直在读这个Heart Sutra，
沙丢
so and 刚开始那个 MCO 的时候就很多这种message 关于那个 MCO 的那个 message，
对，
investigate 我就在问我自己，这些人一直在 spread 那种 information 跟那些 news 的背后，他的 mind 是
very good， 沙丢
what sort of the mind they carry 因为很多的假新闻真的假多 ，and then so at the same time 我也在读那个 Heart Sutra， 这 suddenly 我在读到那个explain 那个 mind 的那种那个 mind 的那种explanation definition 的时候，我 suddenly 我可以 link to 这个 incident， 就是这种information 的他们的那些人 send 这个 message 后面的那种
mind state，
他的 motive 他们的 mind 为什么他们的 intention yes the mind stage， 我竟然可以把这个 Heart Sutra 里面的那个 mind explanation connect to 这个 incident， 那我想我竟然可以 connect 就把这个以前我在读的时候，这个 mind 的这个 level 的时候，我只是在那种knowledge 的 understanding
level， 对
knowledge level， but this round 我竟然可以 connect to 这种
不一样的
在这种 daily 的这个incident 里面，then the day 3 的时候，哇，我很多的 PD 很多的那种 PD arise， 我就 connect 讲。Suddenly, like 我可以就是說我這次讀這個 Heart Sutra 有比較deeper 的這個 understanding.
The understanding become different, unfold deeper.
Yeah, 對。然後我在第4天的下午，我又在讀這個 Heart Sutra 的時候，我很 silent 的在讀的時候 ，suddenly 我的那個 mind 它很shifted，
shift in consciousness，
它很像我也不懂要讲 explain， 就很像我 suddenly like all the one 你是你是睡觉的 like suddenly 你打开了眼睛
shift of consciousness， The consciousness
对，
shift.
就是一个 moment 这样子就 shift 就
Immediate one, spontaneously.
就很像就很像你睡觉开眼睛这样子。
Suddenly become alert, clear.
那 after that 我过后我再读接下来所有的 Heart Sutra 里面的这个 mind explanation， 我完全能够 understand。
Sadhu. Yeah, it will happen.
所以就变成我这一次我在读这个 Heart Sutra 的时候，我在这个understanding level 会比较的 deep。
Yes.
even 我在读后来我已经读完了，所以 even 我读到那个 Appendix 3的时候 ，very easy， 我一看我就完全能够明白，就一直完全。
因为那个你已经读过了，几年前，你读很多次了，以前读6次，Then later on with your understanding over the last few years, you will have the understanding to actually understand it very fast and just penetrate it. That's why the cultivation has to be done that way. It takes time. It needs condition for deeper understanding. It's just like last time I explained, the Dhamma is very strange. Before you understand that aspect of Dhamma, you cannot understand the higher Dhamma. You have to go through. It's just like Dhamma door, I used to say. When you have the ability to have a glimpse of that Dhamma door, means whatever Dhamma there is inside that door, that is just the beginning. But you haven't developed the stability. Then later on you go in, as you contemplate deeper, as you reflect deeper, inquire deeper, and meditate and continue to do this, then all of a sudden, that stability stabilizes. Then only you can express it, share it. Then after that, you have to develop the next ability to penetrate the next level. Means it's like another Dhamma door. Then you go in, again, you do the same thing. Then after you understood this level, then only you can understand the higher level. That's the reason why my nature can just share. And it doesn't have that thought behind it. Hey, you teach like that. People learn all your tricks, then they become better than you. Can never happen. Unless you have your past. Your past is stronger than my nature. Then there's a possibility. But that is good. If you have that, I can learn from you. Understand? But whatever it is something like this Dhamma is very strange. Not until you have penetrated, developed the understanding and the connection to your nature, you can never penetrate further. If your consciousness and wisdom does not transform, that's why this one is the cultivation of both wisdom and consciousness. That true mind. If you go consciousness alone, you lag behind wisdom, you cannot progress further. If you too ahead with consciousness, also no use. You end up in occult and all those things. But if you too strong in your wisdom way, and you lack the consciousness evolution, I realize you also stagnate. It takes you a long time too. But I was very lucky. With this line, I have my vow, my adhitan. I want to develop the highest understanding at any one time when my nature arises. That's why they set the condition for me to meet my last teacher. Even though after 89, when I was introduced by somebody to meet him, but I actually reluctant. Initially, 6 times I rejected. Not to say really outright reject, I just wait for condition. The condition keep on arising. For 6 times, no, I didn't want to go ahead and meet him. But when it happened for the 6th time, I started to reflect and contemplate. Normally, 2 times I will go. I will know something is required for me or my nature to do. Then, because of it happened the 6th time, I make a decision. If it happened again, the condition arise again for the 7th time, then I will see him, I will meet him. And it really happened. Then when I met him that day, Genting, I knew why. Because it is for him to show me the gateway. The moment I understand that, I located that, I don't really need him because the teaching he doesn't have. He only has the ability to actually introduce the gateway, and I'm very full of gratitude. That's why when people listen to my sharing, they don't understand. I always tell them, my last guide, uh, I have a lot of respect and gratitude towards him. And he taught me something which benefited me. Yeah, he showed me the gateway, and I cut short my training by about 10 to 15 years, at least 10 to 15 years. Otherwise, I cannot come out and teach so fast. And because of what happened, my wisdom already developed before I met him. Then the moment he introduced that gateway, my consciousness transformation become very fast because the wisdom and understanding enable my mind to silence. Because the fourth thing that he taught me was the four support actually. The four support which I teach you came from him. When he told me, forget about what other people tell you. I just want you to understand I teach four things. And he said, relax, away, 24 hours. Oh, I full of joy. I said, this three I completed. Then the last one, trust, I don't understand because I was never introduced. I didn't know about it until he explained to me. He said, do you trust me? I said, yes. And then he said, sit down. Then he activated my gateway. His hand was 2 inches away from my heart, slightly towards the left. Then the pure energy went in. Then my nature can detect where I was already fully aware with the wisdom, and I don't resist, I relax, silent. Then it went in. Then when it activates, all my energy, the yin and yang, melt into it. Then it goes through the gateway and become pure energy. I was still, perfectly still, completely without thought. That's why after that, within 9 months, my Monday might collapse and everything happened. And during that 9 months, I tell you, meditation was throughout the day. I was fully aware until when I went into the subconscious and unconscious sleeping state, fully aware until I wake up. That time, the meditation was so different. Then after I went through all those things, then I tell myself, how can I share? How can I teach? Nobody will understand. Then for your case, it's very good. So your ability to relate to the Heart Sutra, especially the working of the mundane mind and all those things, this is the one that will actually let you have the ability to understand yourself. And through understanding yourself, you can understand others. That's why when the WhatsApp message comes, you can actually, through your description, you can actually reflect, contemplate, and find out what is their mind state like, their motive, their intention. Already. This is what you will do initially. But later on, when this one stabilizes, you will understand it very clearly. Then you can feel and sense people. That person come in their mind state, those that have depression and all that, you can feel one, you will know one. You will know that they are not listening to you also. They cannot absorb. There is karmic obstruction. You will start to know all those things. That is the next phase. But initially, what you go through is very good. You will have the ability to understand their motive because you have seen all these things within your own mundane mind earlier on. Then when you read what I wrote, that arise from the silent mind that observe and saw all this, you can follow, you can understand. And like you say, it's like this time around is deeper, with more clarity. That's why Dhamma is like that. You can listen to my sharing or my notes. If you listen again and cultivate, every time you cultivate, you realize the understanding, then you listen again, the next level, deeper wisdom will surface. Otherwise, it cannot surface on. You can only receive up to the level you are at that time. But after you have transformed, like what you have gone through over the years, that's why initially you got a lot of questions that come from the thought. I always tell you it's from the thought. Then you clear that. You identify and saw it. Then you start to have faith. Faith is trust. Trust your nature. trust the Buddha and his teaching. Have faith. Then investigate. When you investigate, if it's the truth, it will stand up to investigation. So this trust is not belief. This trust is don't want to arise the doubt. Don't want to arise the thought process. Like Krishnamurti just now that quote. To observe what is, there must be no movement of thought. No movement at all. This one, sure. My daughter will show the notes. Okay. This one. This one. This one. Okay, can you all see the notes? To observe what is within oneself, one must have a sense of no resistance. Means there is no mundane mind to resist or fear of distraction. But watch exactly what is without any movement of thought. That one is very important. That is quite an art, not easy to do. That's why you have to silence your mind. Don't try to know. No movement of thought. Within that silent awareness, you can watch exactly what is taking place within one's consciousness. Then you will, without a movement, then you will find the content of consciousness which will give rise to great wisdom. Then you can see clearly the content of consciousness. When that mundane mind through its views, opinion, and conditioning introduce that content, then when it tries to stir, react, and what, because of your wisdom and your awareness, you can see. It's just like you see your evil roots, your mental hindrance, you see your delusion, your wrong view. That habitual tendency will still come back for a while. But because you have developed the understanding, the stability of it is still not there, then it will surface again. But the moment it surfaces, you see it cannot move. It cannot do all those things anymore. That's why you have the ability, like the second right effort, to prevent it from arising. This is how you develop. So the initial wisdom and the direct seeing, the third turning, all this through the silent mind will allow you to see clearly. Then when you develop the ability, you will understand. Then when you understand yourself, you will understand others. That's why self-knowledge will lead to awakening. Very good. Sadhu to you. Keep it up. Sadhu.
Berarti after
Yeah.
这个 shift of 这个 consciousness 以后，
Yeah.
我在读你的 Dharma 的时候非常容易了。我
Yeah.
after
You become very different because that shift is the condition within your nature. That nature will create that condition and shift. That's why you need that condition. Then after that, when you read, very easy to understand.
Yeah. 后来我在看看完了 Sutra， 我去看这个 Cultivation of 这个 Bodhisattva Way 的时候
Sadhu, the blue book.
完全这一次是我第4次看。我以前看就是那个 wording 在那个 knowledge wise， 我这一次看的时候，我完全能够知道那个Bohi Mind 它怎样的 relate to 那个Bodhisattva Vow， 它需要 compassion， 要 renunciation，everything like suddenly 整个的 picture 就这样子的就一看就完全明白。
完全明白 ，it become clear to you. It was continue to stabilize. Sadhu. That's why you have to go through all this. Then later on, as you progress again, after 3 months or 6 months, you read again, different again. Because all this sharing is for all level. Unless your level is higher than my nature's level, then of course you can understand what I say. Then maybe you can even teach me. But for the time being, I think most Kayanamitta, you all still have a long way to go. But most of you who have the ability are already very beautiful. The normal cultivator cannot even touch the initial understanding of using the awareness to cultivate. Most of them are within the field of thought-based meditation, Dhamma knowledge, most of them. Because to go beyond thought, to use that silent mind awareness, it's not easy. I realize it's not easy. Until now, I haven't really seen anybody teach that type of meditation. That's why I say when I introduce my sharing in the past, I had to do it subtly. I had to go back to basic, ABC, like kindergarten, like that, teach you the basic Dhamma, then slowly move up. But now, because the consciousness has shifted, that's why now I explain about the silent mind. I think the new people are very confused, especially Kanti, they all, and Joey, they all. The question they ask me, I realize is due to their conditioning, the thought-based meditation, knowledge-based and all that. They keep on wanting to know and all this thing. That's why it's so different. So you all should rejoice, count your good blessing for having the condition to be born as a human being, receive the true Dhamma during the sasana. And this type of teaching is very rare. That's why I say this window of opportunity, don't miss it. Otherwise, you don't know what you miss. Like the Mahayana saying, 人生难得经已得，佛法难闻经已闻. If you have such beautiful condition, born during the sasana, encounter the true Dhamma, and yet you don't know how to make use of it to cultivate, to establish yourself firmly on this path of cultivation, especially the Bodhisattva way. I don't know what to do with you. So the individual must develop the faith, the understanding, then aspire, adhitan, to develop this understanding and go this way. Okay? Sadhu, anything else? So.
而且我想问，我过后，你像 contemplate 的时候，我好像看到我前面的那个 shift of consciousness 里面，它的 before 的整个的 process，它很像有那个 seven factor of enlightenment。
在里面的，对。
OK。
对 ，because without that 那个 shift cannot happen
因为
enlightenment factor will be there.
OK。因为这个是我过后的 contemplation 的
Yeah. You will come to understand. Because you will try to trace all your mind state. But now you have the ability already. That's why when people send all this WhatsApp, you straight away, you don't comment about them, no, but you want to know what is their mind state. And there is investigation. There is not until you understand your own, see your own, and realize what is happening. You cannot understand how people think, the motive and all those things. You can only, like normal people, use knowledge to assume or to predict and all those things. But the one with the understanding, the cultivation, they can sense. Because some people are like, after the lockdown, got nothing to do. So whenever they got something, they thought they are already very good. They thought people will praise them. So they keep on sending, but they don't reflect and contemplate how this message can affect people. If you are a cultivator, you won't simply send this type of thing. You will check and you will use your wisdom to understand whether this is fake news or the truth. Not likely, I will tell them not likely. Like my wife, they all used to ask me. Then finally, somebody proved fake news. Especially the one that say, this wealthy guy, Bill Gates. Oh, he said, Bill Gates, right one, spirituality, all those things. I say, forget about it, can never be Bill Gates. Bill Gates will never write it. With the spiritual inkling and all those things. That's why finally they come out, fake news. So all this can happen. Sadhu to you, very good. So.
然后我过后的 contemplation 里面，我也看到那个understand 的那个 three turning 的 wisdom。
that one very important. Yes.
它的那个 level。
Yeah, the level. Sutta Maya Panya, Chitta Maya Panya. That's why now you have the ability because your contemplation has improved a lot. You have stabilized a lot. That's why you can see the difference in the level. Not until that one happened, the third level, direct seeing, still take a while. Initially, you have a glimpse. That glimpse help you a lot. That's why after that, if you can recall, I used to tell you, technically, I use the word, from that period onward, that time onward, you don't need a teacher, technically, unless it is somebody to show you the higher path, the later path that you have not done before. But even if you don't have such teacher, you will learn yourself. You will understand yourself, but it takes you a long time. Like my last guy, if I don't meet him, I will still locate the gateway, my nature. But it will take me at least 10 to 15 years. So all this will unfold and you will understand on your own. Because when your mind has the glimpse, when you connect back to your past, you will start to evolve and you will evolve beautifully. But if you have made your vow, like what my nature did, Aditan and all those things, then the condition will arise for you to meet with the right guy and the right teacher who can cut short your training, your journey, and you can learn very fast. That's why this life or this era, this asana, a lot of Kayanamitta has the good condition. Most of them have affinity with my nature, but it could be different type of affinity. Some could be due to the food I eat last time. Then because of my vow, I vow to take across all of these beings. That's why you all can have the condition to connect. But most of you have your parami, have your cultivation. Otherwise, you cannot be born during the sasana. You cannot be born as a human. And you cannot receive this teaching. That's why your affinity with great beings, especially the four great beings, with special emphasis on Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is very, very unique, a great being. So a lot of Kayamita came to me because of Kuan Yin, because I got a lot of things to do to pay back my gratitude and respect towards Kuan Yin, my gratitude towards what she has helped and taught me. So all this, it will unfold and you will start to understand them as you progress. Sadhu to you. Very good. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. 还有什么？
很像突然间懂很多东西，但又不懂要讲什么。
哦，不用紧啊，改次。Next
OK，
time we have condition. Yeah, thank you
yeah,
so much. Let
yeah.
us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good, very good. So this is what you can realize if you really cultivate, if you really develop the sincerity, the faith, and the perseverance. It can unfold. Because last time, I still remember, Song used to complain to me. He said, Brother Theo, he has been with me. Last time, he was maybe about 5-6 years ago. He said, I have followed you for 5-6 years, but I can't progress much. I'm very slow. Then he saw that Polai, she brought very fast. She developed some understanding and progress. Then he said, why he's so child? But I said, no. I said, your condition will come. You have to be patient. That's why she developed the patience. Then after that, the condition unfold when Yun Chan organized that trip to Wat Machat, the Ajahn there. When they were there, he took my Heart Sutta book there. And he has been reading that book for so long. Last night he read 6 times through the book, we can understand. But that day at the Wat Machat, according to his sharing, you can go and check back the audio file. He said there was one day, all of a sudden, the Kuan Yin chanting, suddenly they play through the speaker. Then that one resonated through his heart. And all of a sudden, like he understand, and there was so strong a faith and joy. Then the chanting and his awareness become one. Then after that, you go back, go and read my Heart Sutta book again, Appendix 3. He start to understand. Oh, then he was so full of joy and in tears. Then later on, he come back, he reported, Then from that day onward, I knew already. I said, you connected already. You will become different. Then after that, he progressed very fast. But initially, of course, there are certain things that come from the thought. That's why he still got questions, and he will keep on asking. So he cleared those spaces. So all in, I think he has been with me for more than 10 years, if I'm not wrong. More than 10 years, yeah. I think at least 2008 or more, maybe more. 12 or 13 years. Okay, so with this, I think we will end. Sharing of merits. We are 10:38 already. Okay, let us share merits. Akasata cha pumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumodito jirang rakantu lokasasana ittawata cha amehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo asatkalena sasa sampati hetu cha pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can pay respect mindfully to the worthy one, triple gem. Then we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.